Straight out of Cameroon. Hello, what's up? Hello, what's up? Man on the hustle to get to the top.
Monsta, he came under fire of recent because he was passing some advice and people did not like the way the advice was presented. I want to read his statement that he said, defending his initial statement, I guess. So he says, to be clear, I'm not attacking young artists. My first post was letting you know it's all about the music. Photo shoot is important for your brand, but music has more value. A young girl went viral on this platform weeks back looking like a street hawker. She had one thing, the music. You will see professional photos of her now and call her a star, but she brought value first. Know where to put your money as a young investor. After all the hype, what remains is the music you put out. Even Mawe no follow trend will fall on your music. Even if your team leaves you as an artist, you still have your music. Don't be distracted, fam. It's all love, no strings. We have somebody responding to him saying, the moment you want to pass a message to colleagues, never use yourself as a positive reference. So apparently, I think his first post, he was like, okay, look at me, I'm doing it right?
No. The point that guy said was because Mike Monsta made a post and said he used to walk on foot to the studio to record, but they still regarded him. They still gave him that respect as a celebrity and as a star. That's what the guy is talking about. But now he has a car and those things. Yeah, so maybe that's why the guy is saying using yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually saying what you're saying. Like, so he was like, look at me, I'm the good example. I did this right, so you guys follow me, right? So that is first of all cocky and unwise. So that guy's like, don't be using yourself as a perfect example. Then that post confirms your previous post was never about advising younger artists, younger ones. It was an attack, so it's irrelevant. What do we think? First of all, Mike Monsta is, I feel like what he's saying is value, right? You can have the brand, you can have the flashy photos, but you should have the body to it. You should have that strong foundation. If you're an artist, that foundation as an artist should be there. The other things, I think they should come to complement you as an artist. Or do we think that we put the brand first, then the other things the music and the other things can follow? But I feel like my Monsta made some sense here. And what do you guys also think about the response? First of all, let's react to my Monsta's post. What do we think? Sense or no sense?
Makes so much sense. It goes back to what I said. Cameroonians misguide or misunderstand what is branding, and they spend so much money to look flashy, buying fake chains, doing great things without focus, investing on the art. In a sense, he is right, and on the other hand, I cannot say. In a sense, he's right. Let me just say that, but not completely right though. But he is. He makes some valid points. It's not completely off, but he makes some valid points.
Okay, you said not completely right. What did you find there was not completely right?
On the other hand, he's saying you should spend so much money on the art, like record inexpensive or do great videos and all that, like spend so much money on the art that you want to compare with the international, because he said something like compare the international market and compare what the toy videos or something you're putting out. He talked about that, right? Yeah, he doesn't have any points because go to the USA. Kodak Black's first song that he blew up, I think he recorded that thing with what? I don't know. First of all, you need to sell you need to promote your art, promote yourself. You don't need to spend what you don't have. You know, he's misguiding that statement. He's misguiding the directory of funds to something else, something which may not help. It's almost like somebody spending so much money shooting a great video because they want Trace to receive it, and at the end it doesn't go on Trace. Who loses? You, the artist. But if you did an average video that you had enough money to pay on blogs and other platforms to promote it, yeah, it makes sense. So he's just going based on the quality of the production. You know, only the quality of the production, that if the production is great, guys will embrace it and you'll grow on its own. Without promotion, nothing will happen. So that's what the side where I think he is wrong at, but the side which I think he is right at is the quality now. If you want to compete in the international standard, Like somebody, there are so many videos now. Let me just say somebody like Stanley Eno songs now. The video he's shooting now, those are low budget videos, like cheap videos. I don't think for the impression that people have of him. Or let me just say Jaloux, that's Blanche Bailey video, Jaloux of that song. That's a low budget video. Forget the fact that they use all those things. That's a low budget video because the standard of where she's at now in her career, she is all those things. So this point to me, I just think it varies who he's addressing it at. If he's saying this thing to upcoming artists, he's misdirecting that information. You know. Yeah, so you cannot prioritize having a list without even actually having a great source of revenue, because that's one thing he's negating. A source of revenue, sustainable source of revenue to sponsor that art, promotion, marketing, and production.
What if the music video you promote it and people don't vibe to it because it's not good enough?
It depends on the outlet. It depends on the outlet you're trying to reach with the quality of video you have.
I don't know if you can talk about that some more. So, like, what outlet? Like, are you talking about the youth, or is it YouTube, or is it?
No, YouTube. You can post anything. You can post anything, but if you have the funds to promote it, you can promote it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, blogs, radio stations, or even medium-sized TV stations if you want. But when you want to start targeting like this Trace, MTV, and all these places, sometimes they give you a criteria of the kind of videos they want. But you, as an upcoming artist, okay, the song you're doing, you don't know if that song will be. I always prioritize this thing, building your niche audience, because when you're building your niche audience, they vibe to you and your music before even going for the, okay, you're now doing this flashy and top class, top notch production. You need to reach the people who vibe to your songs first, reach the people who vibe to your art first, and then you start thinking about, okay, let me increase the quality to tell my guys who vibe with me that we are finally going up, we are making it, the process is paying off, all this. Then those bigger outlets, now you can now start. That's why you start from Cameroon, then you go to Africa, and then you go international. On all those spaces, you have different levels of quality and productivity that you need to present. You know, so you should not, you cannot be at the ground level and try to please those guys who are at the top when you don't even have a means to feed to make your content reach those guys at the top.
Okay. So I want to get the ambassador's reaction. First of all, as like Donald, what's happening, ambassador?
Exactly, you guess correct. The struggle is real.
Where? Okay, so let us know. Before we go there, I just want to point something out. We are seeing the reality here in Africa, so you cannot be comparing somebody in France to the reality here in Africa. No lie. How do you record in the studio?
You cannot compare me with any person doing a podcast in America and in Europe.
Exactly.
But my modem is going to take a while to kick in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so back to the Madagascar thing. I don't know, remember how my line is not breaking.
Monsta, no, it's not breaking.
Monsta, I wanted to say, yeah. For me, I mean, when I listen to some of these things, the first thing that just comes to my mind is there's this sentence we use here where we say, "Unagobiole." So the whole industry, there is this slang they use in Cameroon. They say, "Unagobiole."
Oh.
Yes. So it just says that I feel like my Monsta is all the way correct. He's right in what he's saying with regards to the branding and the rest. And I've seen that. I have had that experience firsthand, where artists are feeling like they like the brand side of it, but what are you branding? What are you selling? When they come to look beneath those nice clothes and nice shoes, what is there? What is the substance? What is the scarce thing? Everybody can have those shoes from the shops. Everybody can have the cars. But what is the unique thing you are offering which is of scarce value? That you don't want them to pay you like a civil servant ending 300,000 francs. You feel like you should command 1 million, 2 million for people to spend time with you, 1 hour of you singing. What is that unique thing you are offering? That's your talent. And most of the time people miss it out and they'll focus their resources and their energy towards how do I look. As I said, I don't know, in the discussion we had before, like branding is not just. So branding has made it look like it's lavish. The branding is more of your core audience. What do they relate to,
Exactly.
and then how can you connect with them through this thing. Consider yourself not as a person who wants to impress the girls in the neighborhood, but as a guy, as a product. Imagine that you are a shoe. If I want to sell this shoe, who wants to buy the shoe? And why would the person want to give up his hard-earned 100,000 francs to get that shoe? So just put yourself like usual. That's why some of these artists do this, their whole double personality thing of like there is Beyonce, there's Sasha Fierce. Because every now and then, in the boardroom of let me call it the company Beyonce, Sasha Fierce has to be put in the middle and then said, Sasha Fierce has to look sexy now. Beyonce might be a very prudent church girl, but now Sasha Fierce has to look sexy. Because they have realized that 80% of our subscribers are white male. Sasha Fierce might not need to do great this time around. I was also reading a magazine where the marketing guy was saying that he told Trey Songz to cut off his braids, and Trey Songz not cut off his braids because he was like, it's just my braids, it's my hair, it's my natural hair, I'm African, I'm this and that, the whole Black Power story. But if you want to make the money or not, if you want to make the money, this is what you should do. And so when he cut his hair, he started appealing to a different kind of audience. He went the whole calm, sexy boy look. And then now he got better endorsement deals his way. So it's not about you. So when I listen to like the guy who responded, a lot of ego. It's true that when my Monsta was passing on the message, maybe not, there was some ego into it. But I feel like the response just came from a place of ego, like, who are you to be talking to us? It's not about him talking to you, it's just one business advising the other business, like, this is how I succeeded, you should do it. And I don't see any harm in, if I've succeeded, for me to tell my younger brother, like when I was in class 2, I was failing at one point in time, or I did not fail because it's what I did. It's not bragging, it's just passing on advice to people. But we have that issue here in Cameroon. I tell people, like, when I go to Nigeria and other countries, there is a certain level. I tell people, like, the Bible was not stupid when they say, honor your mother and your father so that your days might be long on this earth. If you look at the wisdom in that line, that same wisdom translates to a certain level of respect for your elders so that your days might be productive, or maybe I'm just giving a random example. Yeah. Because there's that advice which the person in front can give you, which you don't have and only time will give you. When a certain disrespect for our adults and people who have stayed longer than us in the industry, you meet people talking, and there was one post where somebody was like, I think they're talking to Tisi Pancha, where they were saying, before you were calling Marvin Slim boss, now that your pockets are becoming heavy, you are calling him bro. I think he was really happy, but then he referred to Marvin Slim as bro or something. Bro. Like that. We have that certain thing, Cameroonian, and I've noticed it. People calling you boss. As soon as they start having 50,000 in their pocket, the boss starts coming with a little bit of hesitation. Then soon the boss just becomes B. We don't know B is for bro or it's for boss anymore. Then soon they just start calling you bro because they're having money, and that just tells you, like, it's not because they really respected your person. It's because they wanted the money which you had and they didn't get it at the time. It's not because they respected you. So all of those things, I just feel like, anyway, we don't have that respect in our industry, and that's one of the reasons why we cannot get the blessings from the older generation. You see a young guy like, who was this recently, who went and was prostrating in front of Olamide. Olamide is not that old. Especially guys like Two-Face, when they meet Two-Face, they're all richer than Two-Face, but they'll prostrate, they'll sleep on the floor. Which artist in Cameroon can sleep in front of another artist? They will never. But they want all the glory, they want the blessing. And when that other person has a connection with trust and does not give you, you write a love letter to all the blogs in Cameroon complaining why you are not giving his connection. Why should he give you? He does not owe you anything. If you cannot give him the least, which is respect, why should he give you his connect? So we'll be able to.
Another one too.
Let me read the comment.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me read the comment. Uwem Odu says, Ambassador always on point. Then we have Kisi Ayenka saying, Wunago be so. Then he goes on to say, bloggers taught them that is branded. So would you blame them? Then he says, the young ones took it back because of the addiction. Is it addiction?
I think I understand that.
Yeah, so but let's talk about this one. He says bloggers taught them that is branding. So would you blame them? Is it bloggers who taught them?
Yeah, it's
Is
Cameroon
that thing
bloggers
comes
who
from
instigate
bloggers?
that thing because they always say you look bummy, that your branding is very poor. You need to wear this, you need to look flash, you need to look like a star, you need to look like all this misguided notion of branding. So he said bloggers taught them that looking flashy, looking fly, paying all those things, spending your money on those looks and appearances is branding, which that's not branding. So the ambassador, you said, like I said, he's right and he's wrong. He's right in the sense that in the position where he's at right now, where he sees things, is different from somebody starting from from ground zero. Okay, the higher you go, it's almost the same thing like when they ask you, do you prefer 500,000 francs or a meeting with Jay-Z? Because what Mike Monsta, Jay-Z will only give you example. He will start talking about that you go for the meeting with Jay-Z.
Yes, all the way.
Me too.
Straight out of Cameroon. Hello, what's up? Hello, what's up? Man on the hustle to get to the top. Let it, you know we're not ready to stop. Monday for club, hundreds of bottles, I'm ready to pop. Come in and got them, I'm ready to. I don't give a word if I'm in the talk. If you know back, find your shot, I'm up.